just a better team, and that's all the confidence that we need. The 2 previous games don't mean anything because they beat our on our home court. So, I mean, that don't mean anything. It's right now. It's just about who's gonna play better tomorrow.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Tell him just beat it.
I had Jamal in handcuffs.
I'm the Pepe.
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid ass questions.
Last year and all during the season when he was keying, he thought it was cute to keep taking shots at the Lakers. Every time he turned around, he played the Lakers, he keying in people's face. Now look at him. Now the reporter asked him, what can you express your emotions being up 20 on your home court and losing? And now the season's over. The season's over. Dumbass question. Oh, no. I want you with your chest out. Like you was poking fun last year when everybody talking about the Lakers. Oh, they still talking about that? We're the champs. You see, you have to handle disappointment and prosperity the same way. Nobody likes to lose, especially legs when you get to this level, but it's a part of it. When you accept victory, when you accept the things that come along with that, you must handle with grace and dignity disappointment.
Now with the game, a one possession.
Pockets Murray. He gets it off to Reed. Corner, Edwards, aim, shoot, score! Timeout!
And this is all with Anthony Edwards going.
Do you look at this Timberwolves team as a team that could become a rival of you guys in the future?
I mean, yes. I mean, I think they're built to beat us in someone. I mean, just look at their roster. They have basically 2 All-Stars, 2 probably first defensive players in the year. Mike Conley, who is the most underrated player in the NBA, probably. I mean, I love the guy. He's so good, and he always makes the right. Even he didn't shoot that well this was the name. Series, this game, in one moment he was the leading rebounder in the game for them. So, it's and from the bench they have a 6th player of the year. They have Kyle and Walker who was really good for them. So one team that they can do literally everything. They can be big, small. So.
I think mentally, emotionally, physically, I think guys are gassed. They're dead tired. They gave me everything I could ever ask for. And that's why, as much as this hurts, I will walk out of this building tonight with my head held very high. Because we competed, we fought, we gave ourselves a chance, and we came up short. And that's going to happen at times. No one ever said this was going to be easy trying to repeat. And like I said, we just got to improve across the board, get better, and come back even stronger.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are in the West Finals. Man, this has just been a roller coaster series all the way from game 1. And this series, if you've been watching it closely, you'll see it was just a seesaw series, and you would never know who's going to win and who's going to have the best performance in any given time. Because as this series started, I had the expectation that the Denver Nuggets were just going to get rid of the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 to 6 games. But boy, was I wrong, as the Denver Nuggets had home court advantage of this series, and they are the team that had the upper hand, given the fact that they had a better record despite, the Denver Nuggets only having 1 win more than the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they had home court advantage. And the home court advantage don't mean anything because the Minnesota Timberwolves went ahead and won both Game 1 and Game 2 at Denver's home floor. And at that point, I was thinking about making a video, but I just said, you know what, let me just see how it's going to play out. And I made a video at Game 4. But in both Games 3 and Game 4, the Denver Nuggets did a reverse Uno on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they won 2 games straight at Game 4. That series got tied at 2 games apiece. Then in Game 5, the Denver Nuggets went ahead and won that game. And at that point, the expectation, and everyone in NBA media, especially Draymond Green, I made a video talking about this. He said that the Denver Nuggets have already figured out the Minnesota Timberwolves, and this series is just going to end. But boy, was I wrong. And how wrong was even Draymond Green? Because Draymond Green, he came out and said, you know, the defensive player of the year can't even guard the reigning MVP. So the Denver Nuggets were right now at that point, they were going ahead to just close it out, but they couldn't because they were limited to 70 points in Game 6 and 90 points in Game 7. So the Game 6 performance was the lowest score tally, the lowest point tally that the Nuggets had. Before that game, the poorest game that they played was in Game 2, where that game ended 106-80. And Anthony Edwards had just a lot of choice phrases to say, because at some point he said he's gonna see the Denver Nuggets in Game 7, right after Game 6, right after Game 5.
Who do you like?
I like the Wolves. Okay.
You didn't howl.
That's not unusual.
Oh! No, we don't need that.
How does that feel?
Feels great. You know, this is the defending champ. So it's you know, it's just one step to where I want to go, but you know, it's a credit to the work that we put in and to the talent in this locker room and the heart of this team. You know, so it's we're just halfway through, you know, our goal, but it feels good.
All your
Wolves
hard
on
work,
three,
man.
Wolves
All
on
your
three.
hard work, baby.
Yep.
That's all paid off.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
you do that every morning.
How does that feel? Man, no worries right now, bro. That's what we're supposed to do, bro. Got the dub.
Long time coming. I can cry. Long time. We got a lot more to do, though. But we enjoy this one.
Sure.
Chris, I wonder for you personally, I mean, you've seen a ton in this game, you've done a lot in this game, but between the injury and then the journey that you have with this squad, I think late third quarter you start getting out of the chair a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen you do that. I mean, is this going to be a night that you remember for a long time?
Yeah, for sure. It's a big moment for our club. You know, everybody talks about the last 30 years, which mean nothing to me. But it does mean a lot to a lot of people to see this team, root for this team, the city's behind this team, and to beat a team like Denver on their home floor, you know, the way we did, of course, is going to mean a lot for sure.
It's a moment for sure. You know, you don't see too many teams do that, but we got some dogs over here, so proud of the guys, man. This one means a lot. Now we got to get locked in for Dallas.
Big game. You know, we needed, we was down 20, but I don't think none of us was ever in a situation where we was nervous. I think everybody, you know, came to compete, everybody came to play. You know, we do big things and we're going to continue to do big things.
Game 7 went on the road. We got some real killers, man. And Rudy, Cat. It's the only way we won it, man. Game 7, let's get it.
I know this is something very special, but what are your thoughts about that you are doing this 20 years later exactly than the first time that the Timberwolves were in a Western Conference Finals with KG?
I mean, just shout out to KG. Happy birthday, KG. Here's your present from all of us.
It was his birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, my boy.
So, I mean, it's special. It's special anytime you get a chance to do it. But like you said, to have a legend who led the Timberwolves like that and then come 20 years later and be able to be in the same situation that he was in, I think it's very special.
Carl Anthony Towns. Carl Anthony Towns. Carl Anthony Towns. It's because of him. Thank Cat, y'all. Thank Cat, y'all. They ain't have no answer for Carl. Carl the baddest big on the planet. Y'all know it. It ain't hard to see it. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The Timberwolves will be there.
As the Denver Nuggets won Game 5, he told one of the journalists he's going to see them in Game 7. So I was just excited to see Anthony Edwards he react like this, considering the fact that they had lost 3 straight. They lost Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5. In that series, the Denver Nuggets led 3-2, and you can see the confidence that he had. At some point, I was like, this guy is coming off borderline arrogant, but this is who he is, and he was able to just go ahead and use that as fuel. And the most interesting thing about this Game 7 was the fact that the Denver Nuggets blew a 20-point lead. The Timberwolves, they had a deficit of 20 points, and they were able to not only cut that lead but win this Game 7, this crucial Game 7, this series deciding Game 7, which could have gone either way. They won this game by 8 points. 98-90 was the final points tally. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, they have just arrived. Karl Anthony Towns, a bona fide All-Star. Naz Reid, 6th Man of the Year. Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year. You've seen Rudy Gobert be the butt of the end of jokes a lot of times, and a lot of people have not been giving this guy a lot of respect because of his playoff performances, but this one, he should be given some credit because he was able to show his defensive prowess. Despite being cooked in between Game 3 and Game 5, Rudy Gobert was just getting cooked by the reigning 3-time MVP, Nikola Jokic. And even at some point, you could have just seen there was a bit of despair and lack of trust on Rudy Gobert, especially when he came to guarding Jokic. Then you could see at some point Karl Anthony Towns, he had to take the load, despite not being the defensive genius the way Rudy Gobert is, because he's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. So Anthony Edwards, he overcame a slow start as the Timberwolves came back from a 20-point second-half deficit to eliminate the reigning NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. 98.
I don't even know.
Turnaround.
I think when Rudy hit the turnaround, I was like, yeah, we probably got him.
God is with
Because
us.
I know that'll kill you. That'll kill everything. Yeah. Hey. Big shout out to Big Rue, man. Big Rue hit the turnaround on it.
Like, what did you notice? What flipped for you guys to allow you to climb back in it and take this?
Started hitting some shots, playing some defense, even better at a higher level, I thought. And this is Timberwolves basketball. I think this was just a real showing of Timberwolves basketball at its finest, where it's a team effort. We got hype for players that we have, me, him included on this table, but like I said, we don't have a big 3, we got a big 15. We every single person on this team means a lot to this team, and they help in so many different ways. And this game just shows that the Timberwolves, not Anthony Edwards, not Karl Anthony Towns, not Rudy Gobert, the Timberwolves are a special team.
Jamal, Coach said that he thought you guys could use this as motivation. That was one of the first things he said. So I guess how does that fuel your offseason?
For sure. Yeah, man, it's back to being the hunter. It's back to being, fighting for something with a different type of edge. So I think we beat them. We beat them in the first round. I know that stuck for them because they're such a good team. So I know last year, beating them sucked for them, and they came in this year with motivation, and they showed it. I feel like we've seen a lot of Rudy and Mike Conley over the years. They got us this year.
I don't know. I don't watch these guys, so I don't know what they talk about. But I know that they have to talk about something, and they have to talk about us that are on the court. But yeah, I'm glad Coach didn't listen to his advice.
Exclamation point from Rudy Gobert as Anthony.
90, and the Denver Nuggets were supposed to be a dynasty. This was a team this was the first title defense, and they now got knocked off in the second round. And at some point, even when I was making a couple of videos back, I just felt like the Denver Nuggets, they have arrived and they're the next dynasty, and they are going to take over the NBA. But the lack of all-stars around Jokic is very concerning. I know Jamal Murray, he has been good. MPJ has been good. Aaron Gordon has been good. But the all-star help that Nikola Jokic didn't have at the time because he was the lone star, that was the reason as to why they were not able to go ahead and win it. Because Nikola Jokic, at some point, he can even drop 40 or even 45 in the triple-double. But if the supporting cast does not help him, if the supporting cast does not show up and assist him, carry the load in scoring, it really, really shows, and it really tells you everything you need to know in this game. Because you can see in this game, Nikola Jokic, he did his thing. He had a double-double. He had a 34.19 board double-double. He was only 3 assists shy from getting his triple-double. Jamal Murray, he had 35. But look at the other guys. Aaron Gordon, he only had 4 points. Michael Porter Jr., 7 points. KCP, 5 points. Justin Holiday, 0. Reggie Jackson, only 8 players played. And you could see the lack of quality on that Denver Nuggets team and the lack of depth just came back and haunted them.
Who's winning this series, Bree? You flirted with it.
I have.
I'm very gentlemanly to flirt.
I'm gonna be honest. There's something telling me go with Nuggets in 7, but you know what? Timberwolves in 7. That's right. Going to Denver, winning Game 7. I know I'm out on a limb. I just couldn't pick them in 6, so I'm going 7.
Wait, are we picking the parlay or the game? Pick the game. Pick the game. I am taking the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Kenny? I'm in the too?
Well,
I thought you meant the parlay. I'm going with the Timberwolves. Denver.
I'm going Denver as well at home. Okay.
I'm going with the Wolves. Garrett!
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Fuck being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid ass questions.
Honor to watch you play. Okay, I have not been to Minnesota in probably 20 years.
Bring your ass.
Hey, can you send me a list of good restaurants? We're going to be there for like 5 days. I want you to send me a list of some good restaurants, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna find your number through somebody. I'm gonna send them to you.
I appreciate it, my brother. Congratulations. I'll see you Wednesday.
Appreciate it, baby.
Well, if you want his number, it's 55. No.
Hey.
And it was along that run, I think it was something like 31-9, maybe even better than that, from late in the or early in the third to early in the fourth. Was there a sequence that where you're like, okay, we got this. The game is back, turning in our favor?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know.
Turnaround.
I think when Rudy hit the turnaround, I was like, yeah, we probably got him.
God is with us.
Because I know that'll kill you. I know that'll kill your that'll kill everything. Yeah.
Hey.
Big shout out to Big Rue, man. Big Rue hit the turnaround on their ass.
On God's day, too.
I think that's when I knew we had him, once he hit that turnaround.
Coach, winning the championship, you have to have a certain level of hunger. I can imagine defending a championship is exhausting. How exhausting has the totality of this season been?
Yeah, I think it's a really important point, and I would never, and those that know me, I'm not an excuse maker. The better team won, so I'm taking nothing away from Minnesota. But when you look at the fact that all the teams that are still playing, we played into June last year, a lot of basketball. And then we had to play our guys, our main guys, unlike last season, through game 82 to secure the number 2 seed. Whereas last year we were able to rest down the stretch. And I think the run last season and coming back and the amount of minutes that our starters had to play, I think mentally, emotionally, physically, I think guys are gassed. They're dead tired. They gave me everything I could ever ask for. And that's why, as much as this hurts, I will walk out of this building tonight with my head held very high. Because we competed, we fought, we gave ourselves a chance, and we came up short, and that's going to happen at times. No one ever said this was going to be easy trying to repeat. And like I said, we just got to improve across the board, get better, and come back even stronger.
The Minnesota Timberwolves only fielded 8 players, and there were like 7 DNPs in the Minnesota Timberwolves locker room, but they're still able to get the job done. As if you look at the stat sheet, you can see that we had 6 players scoring 10 points or more. And this goes to show you that the team's chemistry and cohesiveness, and Chris Finch being the head coach there, he knows how to spread the wealth across every single player and have every single player get involved. The only time you could see the Denver Nuggets get involved is when Jamal Murray does something. There's this game that he had that game against the Lakers where he hit that game-winning game 2. And you could see when he has a bad night, the team suffers. If Jokic, let's say he has a bad night, the team suffers greatly. And the reason as to why the Nuggets lost and the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to come out as the better team is because the Minnesota Timberwolves focused on team basketball and they had a clear hierarchy. And Anthony Edwards was that guy that led the charge. But if you look at the Denver Nuggets, it was only Jokic and Murray. No other player came and stepped up and did something, because Michael Porter Jr., he's that guy that he's known for knocking down those shots. He couldn't even knock down anything. And he was limited to 7 points, Aaron Gordon 4 points. We have been accustomed to seeing Aaron Gordon have the easiest looks and easiest chances of his career, especially being paired and being the same roster as Jokic and Murray. But in this game, still that production was not there. Reggie Jackson, he was a straight cardio there. Justin Holiday, cardio. Christian Brown, 5 points. So it's very difficult to be able to win with a team that only has only 2 players who are doing anything. But if you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, all the way from McDaniels, 23 points, Rudy Gobert, 13 points, 9 rebounds, Karl Anthony Towns, 23 points, 12 rebounds. You can see Mike Conley, 10 points, 8 boards, and he had 4 assists. Anthony Edwards, he didn't have like those 44-point games, but you could see he had 16 points, 7 assists, 8 boards, and they were just spreading the well across every single player. Naz Reid, reigning 6th man of the year, 11 points. So you could see the teamwork that was there that went ahead and helped them win this game was the reason as to why they were able to win that. And they were able to play good team basketball, and that allowed them to overcome the 20-point deficit. And the Timberwolves overcame a 15-point halftime deficit, the largest comeback in Game 7 history, in NBA playoffs history, behind Anthony Edwards, who at some point you could just see he was just deep in his bag. Behind Anthony Edwards, who just had 4 points, no rebounds, and 3 assists at halftime, he finished with 16 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists. His impact led to the team just being a cohesive unit, and they were able to go ahead and do it. So Anthony Edwards said, he came out and said, it was tough, man, because I couldn't find myself and my rhythm tonight. He also added, so I just had to trust my teammates. I just had to make the right plays throughout the rest of the game. I did that, and my teammates made big shots. Big shout out to those guys. And his teammates did not let him down. As Minnesota took control late, over and over, Anthony Edwards denied Jamal Murray, who had only 24 points at halftime and finished with 35. So you can see, even at some point, Anthony Edwards, he even claimed that he had handcuffed Jamal Murray. And Jamal Murray was not able to, despite even having like a game-high 35 points, still, he was not able to score and be the Jamal Murray that you're used to. And considering the fact that the Denver Nuggets team was only centered on Jokic's and Murray's performance, and the other supporting cast did virtually nothing, that was the main reason as to why they failed. So Anthony Edwards, he also came out and said there are more ways to win the basketball games when you're just not an offensive player. He also added, I'm not one-dimensional. I'm not just a guy who can score. I'm a guy who, whoever their best guard is, I can go lock him down. I feel like I did that on Jamal Murray in the fourth quarter. In the third and fourth quarter, And that's what turned the game around. And limiting Jamal Murray's offense was the reason as to why they were able to win it. So as the seconds ticked away, Anthony Edwards dribbled the ball up court and took time to wave goodbye in the stunned crowd at the ball arena. So disrespectful. Where the Nuggets' 33-8 record this season was the second best in the league, but where the Wolves won 3 times this series. So you can see the poor performance in Game 7. I can't compare this to the Suns' implosion against the Dallas Mavericks in the West Semis in 2022 because it's not the same. Because that was a blowout back then, but this one, it was an utter capitulation performance. The Wolves, who got 23 points each from Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen McDaniels, advanced to the West Finals for the first time in exactly 20 years, and they'll face the Mavs in the beginning of Wednesday at the Target Center. So Rudy Gobert also chimed in. He said, "If it feels great." Rudy Gobert, he came out and also said, beating a team like they are, an incredible team, a championship team, with the best player in the world, it feels good, especially with the whole Rudy Gobert slander. I know both players have been slandered. Rudy Gobert has been slandered in equal measure. The NBA does not like Nikola Jokic. I made a video talking about the reason as to why the NBA media don't like Nikola Jokic because he's not African, he's Serbian. And a lot of people said, they like Nikola Jokic, but you can see the general consensus of NBA media, they do not like Nikola Jokic that much. So, yeah. And also Jamal Murray because he's Canadian. But anyway, it is what it is. Behind Murray's fantastic start, the Nuggets raced to a 53-38 halftime lead, and Murray's three-pointer with 10:15 left in the third pushed the Denver's lead 58-38. So you could see the Minnesota Timberwolves just looked dead in the water, but you could see the team basketball. Chris Finch, man, I don't know what they're doing there in Minnesota, but they just knew what they're supposed to. They just knew what shots needed to take. The Wolves turned to their defense, the NBA stingiest defense, to get back into the game, and they closed the quarter on a 28-9 run to pull to 67-66 heading into the fourth. So Gobert gave the Wolves the first lead since the fourth quarter with a bucket to start the fourth quarter when Towns picked up his fifth foul. Naz Reid, the NBA reigning Sixth Man of the Year, was spectacular at both ends of the floor to keep the Minnesota Timberwolves ahead. In one crucial stretch that started with the Minnesota Timberwolves ahead, 85-82 was the score. Naz Reid had 2 free throws and a dunk leading to before feeding Edwards for a back-breaking three-pointer that put the Wolves ahead 92-82 with 3 minutes left. So Jamal Murray, who was coming off a 4 of 18 shooting performance in the Nuggets 115-70 loss in Game 6, the largest ever in the playoffs for a reigning champion. He made 13 out of 27 shots for 35 points. Jokic 34 with 19 boards. But the duo got a little help from the other guys on the squad, man. The other guys just let this game go. So Mike Malone, he was not quite happy with the questions being asked in the post-game presser. So he also came out and said so much was being placed on their shoulders. We're expecting Jokic and Murray to continue pulling rabbits out their heart, man, but somebody else has got to give some help. So he took a direct shot to the team. He took a shot at Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., all the other guys in the squad, because they did virtually nothing. And that's the reason as to why they lost. And the Denver Nuggets have a lot to think about, especially when it comes to retooling on that roster, and even getting quality role players to assist Jokic and Murray, because this is a very good team in the regular season, especially in the coasting through the regular season, but in the playoffs where you have to have a deep bench that has quality and produces quality on a game-to-game basis, they're not able to get the job done because of the fact that the other guys do not step up. You can't only have the 2 best players on the team only showing up for 30 plus points and combining for north of like 60 points or even 70, but the other guys only combine for 20 points. So there's no way you're going to win a basketball game like that in the playoffs. So this marked the Timberwolves' first Game 7 since beating Sacramento in the second round exactly 20 years earlier, and that's the only time they reached the conference final. So the Nuggets were playing their 5th Game 7 the last 6 seasons, and they were seeking their third trip to the conference finals in that span. So Mike Maloney also said that was one hell of a series. They gave us all we could handle and ended up winning Game 7 on our home court. This is a tough one to swallow, but we'll be back. So, yeah, the Nuggets became the 5th consecutive defending champion to fail to reach the conference finals. The last one to do it was Golden State in 2019, when the Warriors reached the NBA Finals only to lose to Toronto. So, yeah, they're also getting, that comparison. So, the one thing I will keep, the one thing I will keep going back to right now is I consider the San Antonio Spurs a dynasty, and they never won back-to-back. So not Karl Malone, but Michael Malone, he's trying to compare this to the San Antonio Spurs, and he's just comparing the team performance of not being able to win back-to-back championships like the Golden State Warriors. So he also added, losing, the heart of it, the pain of it, it helps us to win our first championship. Can we use this year? So Mario thinks so, for sure. He said it's back to being the hunter. So that's just the end of it. So the Nuggets, I must say, they are a very disappointing bunch, and this loss has made it has added wood to the fire to the people who do not like Nikola Jokic. A lot of people do not like the fact that Nikola Jokic won that MVP award. I know, Shaq, I see you. And honestly, I must say the Denver Nuggets have just embarrassed themselves very bad. This is a team that was up 3-2 in the series. They won 3 straight games, game 3, 4, and 5. But in the closeout games, they couldn't get the job done. And they just need to do some retooling on that squad, because they were held to a quarter low 14 points in the third quarter. Because of the good defense that the Minnesota Timberwolves had and the star power that the Minnesota Timberwolves had, they were able to go ahead and wreck them brutally. And I must say, there's a lot to think about. And I'm not saying like Michael Malone's job is at risk, but just a consolation prize. He was just trying to compare the loss to how the San Antonio Spurs were not able to win back-to-back titles. But that's just excuse that he's putting. The real thing that the Denver Nuggets need to go ahead and do is, can they try to find a way to retool and get better role players in the offseason? And as for the Minnesota Timberwolves, I must give them full credit. KG, he just came out and supported the team. And it's just a relief to see different teams compete. In this 6-year span, we've been seeing different teams compete for that championship. We've not seen a team in the past 6 years go back-to-back. The last time we've seen a back-to-back champions of the Golden State Warriors and making 4 NBA Finals trips like that. I don't think we'll be able to see a team of that nature in the near future, because every single time it just gets competitive. Right now, all roads just show that the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to clash, and we're going to see the best basketball. And also out east, you're going to see the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers. So in the next video, I'll talk about the Knicks versus Pacers series, which was, man, it was just insane to watch. And it was just a roller coaster as well. And I just feel happy because my predictions were right. Because even when I was talking about the Lakers and the Lakers and Nuggets series, and I saw the Nuggets and Wolves slated in together to play together, after the Wolves came out and swept the Suns, I just knew that series would play out all 7 games. And also the Knicks and Pacers, I just predicted right, and I just said this series can even go 7 games. So I'm happy I was right. I'm just happy. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
And so the real reason I held up film was actually because I'm about to get 7 rings to surpass my father. And, I got that MJ chromosome inside me. But, yeah, I'm about to eat some good chicken nuggets Sunday night.